This week on Not Just Another Sex Podcast. So what's happening in the bedroom with 5 children? Like, what did that look like? Like postpartum? Like, what is the self sex routine? Is there a self sex routine?
I don't really have a self sex routine, sis. I'm gonna have to book a class. I'm not doing any self pleasuring at all. No, look at somebody's face.
Like, what about when you have a rough day, or like, how do you get started? That's how you go to sleep. Talk about meditation music. But I got a meditation for your ass. All right.
You know what?
That little
I think that me just being genuine and honest, I feel like
you was lying the rest of the episode, or?
You know, a little bit, but got those little razzle dazzle there.
Hey, sugar. I feel like there are so many different things that I need to learn as an adult. I'm this nasty on a regular day, like on a Tuesday. I am your host, Samaya Burton, and don't worry, it's not just another sex podcast. Welcome back to Not Just Another Sex Podcast. I am your host, Samaya, and I am very excited for today's episode. So, before we get started, let's first get into these reviews because you guys are hearing me and y'all are dropping them like crazy. So, this one is from Fednalicious. Fergalicious. Wait, that's a song. It's Fednalicious. I wonder, is like that you in a licious. It sounds like a kinky name. Anyways, it says episode 27. I had to write a review about the above episode. First and foremost, I love you on all platforms, including your Patreon. Yes, girl, get into it. The ability to show, teach, and help others understand how to be comfortable in their sexuality, not only physically, but mentally as well, is amazing. And I thank you for creating a platform for that. Episode 27 though, girl, had me taking notes. As someone who wants to date to marry, this podcast gave me some tools, honey. Honey. Hold on, I didn't even say it right. I didn't put the juice on it or nothing. This podcast gave me some tools, honey. I'm finna go on my dates asking all the questions because we finna communicate right from the start. Love you lots and continue to drop gems like this for someone like me who wants to get it right and also do the work on me in the process. Episode 27 was Mac's episode. That was an amazing, amazing episode. Mac is actually a relationship therapist located in New York, and he comes down and sits with me and talks, and he specializes in helping marriages and relationships repair after infidelity. But with that, because of that, that means that he's able to help you pinpoint where that came from, which usually when infidelity happens, there's an issue that was already there that needs to be fixed. But he's just really amazing. So shout out to Mac. We will make sure that you see the episode below. Look below so you can check out the episode. But today I am not alone. I have an amazing guest per usual. Hey, girl.
Hey.
I have Tiffany La'ryn. Why do I do this every time?
I don't know. She hates me.
No, it's an apostrophe in there. It is. Tiffany La'ryn.
Yes.
Tiffany La'ryn with us today, and I'm super excited. Please introduce yourself.
Hi. I feel like this is a classroom introduction. Hello.
Hi, my name's Tiffany.
Hi, my name is Tiffany La'ryn, and I am a YouTuber. My channel is Tiffany La'ryn, and I also do other social media platforms. Would I be like a content creator?
You are definitely a content creator.
Okay, I'm a content creator, y'all.
You are. If not, you definitely about to be. But
okay.
We get into it. So yeah, I think the kids call it. You're definitely a YouTuber though.
I'm definitely
right
a YouTuber.
Now. My makeup artist. So
loves me.
Yes. Last time Tiffany was here, she came to the content house, and shout out to Couture, who beat this face, honey, today. Book her, Atlanta. Her son was here, and when they pulled up, you were already here. He was like, here. I know that's her Range Rover. And he came in, he's like, Miss Tiffany, girl, a star, cute. Okay?
It was cute.
We don't get hugs like that when we see him, so, it must be nice. But thank you for joining me. I'm so excited. We've been talking, and I'm like, now I'm like a little nervous because we always had good conversations, but now the cameras are on. I'm like, okay, let me not act a fool.
Don't be nervous. I love you.
Oh, I love you too. I love girls, but like for real.
Watch how you say it now.
With me, like literally you go either way. But like, you know how you just had that really good girl energy and just that girl time. It's just like, you talking about shit that y'all just on the same page
Yes.
about, or just girl connection. You're like, girl, I know, and you don't be knowing the person at all.
Yes.
But I always appreciate those moments. So you're joining me on the episode today. So we usually start off with the adult tip of the day. The adult tip of the day is where we take like a couple minutes because out of nowhere, like we woke up and we the adults in the room, like you the one that got to do CPR if somebody passed out. Like how you know that it's not a stroke? Like, are you raising your hand? Do you even know what to do? Like, do you? You know?
I don't. If somebody's having a stroke right now, only thing I can do, baby, is call 911 and hold your head up and give you some ginger ale.
Ginger ale fix everything. What you mean? Let me get you. You know what? You are right. Hold on. Let me just get you a ginger ale real quick.
Ginger ale real quick.
Oh, it look bad. Let me get a ginger beer. It looks stronger. Stronger.
Gonna knock it right up out of you.
So the adult tip of the day is because this could be like a my therapist says or a how to do something for real, or whatever. But today's adult tip of the day is from Corey Allen. It's from his Twitter. It says his Twitter is Hey Corey Allen. Make sure you give credit to folks. Rest isn't just about restoring your energy. It's also about giving yourself enough space to reflect so you can strengthen your perspective.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that is good. I don't feel like I even think about it like that. When I think about rest, I just think, damn, I'm tired.
I'm close my eyes. I can't even close my eyes. As a woman, my brain just don't stop moving.
It doesn't. Do you meditate?
No, but for me to go to sleep, I have to put meditation music on.
Okay.
Because if I don't, my brain thinks about all the things I didn't do, all the things I need to do, all the things that could hypothetically be needing to get done. And I just have to put something on that makes me go like, in like a coma.
Yeah, I feel that. I do like this. It's about giving yourself enough space to reflect so you can strengthen your perspective. I like this because especially like being in business, being in content, hell, being a mom, sometimes I don't need to have the answer that quick. Like I need to give myself a moment, but also we change so much and we don't really give ourselves time to figure out what has changed. And ironically, I don't know when this episode is coming out, but ironically, Mercury is in micrograde, again. So if y'all don't know, Mercury is in retrograde until like September 15th.
Oh, that's lovely.
And that is like, so you have Mercury rules communication and technology. So you have more y'all, this is a real show made by real people. Steph, can you please tell my son I hear him. This is a real show made by real people.
We love the kids.
Brought my baby to work today. But Mercury retrograde controls technology and communication. And so it's like where two planets look like they are going different directions, but really they're just slowed down. And so because of that, it brings up a lot of confusion, or you have a lot of phone issues, or like weird stuff be going on and you don't even notice, but that's what's happening.
No, I be noticing. Once I learned about Mercury retrograde, and when I do know what's going on, or if something is weird, I'm like, let me check, because people's attitudes be shifting.
You do gotta watch it.
They get weird. I'm like, what is up with you?
They said, at my kids' school, they said that the kids be going crazy around like full moons and retrogrades.
They're like little demons. So
yes. I said yes. I think I was supposed to not agree. I probably should have not agreed so fast. Yes, girl, demons. No, but they was like, one lady, she was like, yeah, this kid just bit me today. And I was like, what?
I just told you they just bit.
That was their last semester. So maybe it's different this time. I don't know.
That's crazy.
But that's what retrograde is for. Retrograde is for you to slow down. That's the universe like naturally telling you to slow down. So like they say, don't make a lot of like fast or hasty decisions. Like if you're thinking about something, think on it. Like don't introduce something brand new. Like if you've been working on something, okay. But if you started something like, oh, I'm about to go look for a house today, you don't do that during retrograde. Like you just wait for it to pass, like shit like that.
So how many weeks does retrograde last?
It's like a little bit over like a month, maybe. I think, but it happens multiple times during the year.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, how are we supposed to take a month off every couple of months?
No, not a month off. You just slow down. You just be careful
that I can't come in for the month
because we might get confused.
I might bite you.
Right.
I might
bite you. It's not even me. It was not me. It was the retrograde. But yeah, so like slowing down, I definitely feel that right now. I feel like I am slowing down. Things that's already been in motion is fine, but I haven't been taking on like anything new. But I've been taking this time to just be like, okay, are there any changes I need to make? Let me get more reorganized and get restructured. Is there anything that I need to like just be done with altogether? So like people be falling off at this time. Old people come back during this time.
Scary.
But we got a spiritual tip of the day at the end of the episode, so I ain't gonna bore you with all my witchy shit. Hey, you guys, it's your host, Samaya. If you're enjoying the topics over here, Honestly, I think you'd love the topics over on my learning platform. I have some private interviews over there with some amazing guests. I've interviewed Mr. Marcus, yes, that's the porn star, Passion Jones, who brought on her husband and her boyfriend, and even had some girls' night conversations with Medina from Cocktails as well as Mila from Good Moms Bad Choices. That conversation was amazing. We did some examples of our dirty talk, and let's just say you need to check it out. Don't just take my word for it. Make sure that you click the link below and sign up today. There are over 250 workshops, classes, interviews, and so much more. All right, now back to the show. So let's move on to the Twitter Talk. So Twitter Talk is where we pay homage to Black Twitter. So Black Twitter, you know, I don't know what it is now. It's like X.
It's Black X.
Black X.
I guess. I mean, that's what it is, X.
What's the symbol?
It's the X. It's like this.
It's the Black X now, I guess. I don't know. But, you know, Black Twitter it's always going to be Black Twitter no matter what they change it to, whether the app deletes or not, whatever. And that's where people talking about. So this segment is for talking about something controversial, crazy, or just like a little fun fact or whatever. And today you're going to give us our Twitter Talk.
Ooh.
So what is our Twitter Talk for today?
Let me see what I've been seeing going on online. Okay, so this guy was on a rant per online. According to the online ranting he was doing. Supposedly, I don't have the full story because I was not there in the room with them when this happened.
That's why it's Twitter Talk. We don't know if it's fact or fiction. We here for the...
I don't know.
We tell you what happened was.
I'm just give this hearsay that I heard. Right. So... he was with a girl and they were in a relationship, and then he got her pregnant, and it seemed as if it was a joint, like they were together. It wasn't like a one night stand or anything like that. And then he just hopped ship on her like when she was having the baby, and then just went away for like 8 months. And then he just reappeared like men do. And
just reappeared.
Just reappeared like magic.
No shade, y'all. We making jokes out of all right.
He just came back and was like, hey, I'm here ready to be a dad. And she was like, cool, say less. So she gave him the baby. And I guess he took off with the baby. I don't know where he went with the baby.
Like give him some visitation rights.
And then she just stopped answering the phone. I don't know how long she's been gone. I didn't catch that part of, but she's gone. Like she just left him. Plot twist.
Wait, but he went on the rant.
But he went on a rant about her leaving. But it's like, sir, how do you do that after you left her? I feel like it's a get back. You should just be like, you know what? I deserved it because I did it. That's how somebody logical would think. You know what? I shot you first. You shot me back. Hey, I'm going to let this one slide. I did shoot you
damn baby. I hope you're playing hot potato with this child. That's crazy.
I feel bad for the baby because one day that baby's gonna watch that video and see that neither one of y'all
both
really wanted that baby,
boys.
And y'all just been kind of tossed around like a hot potato. Y'all gonna have to deal with that.
I don't think I could do it.
What? Leave your baby?
Hell no.
I say I could, but I can't. I've contemplated a couple times.
It depends on the day that you ask me. How many?
It's me tomorrow.
Give me another drink and see what I say. We're going to give her another tequila and ask her, you want to go away for 8 months?
Maybe.
It was just a modification, babe.
It's a visitation on FaceTime. Just FaceTime me. I'm around.
Yo, it's so hard. Like, even with a good co-parenting situation, by the end of that week, I'm like, okay, where is my kid? By 5 days, it's like, okay, I could get my kid back, please.
Baby, by 5 days with my kids, I'm like, Lord, is it time for you to take me home or no?
I don't... Not being around my kid every day is something that fucks me up all the time, but also
being around your kid every day
fucks me up
I know. I feel the same way. I don't want y'all to go nowhere, but I want y'all to go somewhere.
I don't know. Like, can we just be in the same house? Like, I know it don't sound right. It sound like I'm crying wolf.
I be thinking about when they grow up and leave, and I already be getting sad. I'm like, one day y'all ain't gonna want to be around me, and I'm already like,
I can't even picture it. I can't. I guess I can't. Yeah, I can't even think that. Well, good for me, because before I used to have life all organized, like 30 years out. I'm like, yeah, this is where we should be right here. So good for me, I guess, living in the moment. So you were on the show with me today. First of all, how many kids do you have?
I have 5 boys.
You're a gangster. I feel like right now, like if this was your channel, we would put like a whole bunch of like gangster
Probably.
OG things around you. And it would be like she the OG.
Yo.
5 boys. And then you have your partner who's a whole nother man.
Yes. And
so
then I have my dad also.
And your dad.
Because he helps with the kids. I hate to call him like a nanny, but that's kind of what he does. I mean, you know.
And you're OG too.
But the thing is, nobody treats me like a woman.
In that house?
No. And they're always like, Tiffany, you're never soft. And I'm like, when I'm crying, you guys are like, you good? All right, tighten up. You good. You get one cry. That's it. I be like, okay. And then they're like, you're never soft. And I'm like, when do I get to be soft?
When do I get this chance?
When do I get to be soft? As soon as I'm soft, y'all like, what's wrong with you? Tighten up.
Because you one of the boys.
Oh, okay.
So I found you through another show.
Yes.
Cocktails. Shout out to them. They were
Shout
recording.
out to Cocktails.
And I just fell in love with you. You were just so nice and funny and tall. You know, in my heart, I'll be thinking I'm just the tallest thing, baby. I be feeling real stallion.
I be feel like me.
It's like My Little Pony, but, you know, in my world. But I be feeling stallion like. And you were sharing about just how you got into YouTube. So would you please like fill us in? Where did this, where did your story start? Because like right now you have this family channel.
Yes,
and y'all get like millions of views. Like kids tap in.
We get like 30 million views.
I'm not speak louder into the mic, baby.
We get like 30 million views a month.
A month.
Yeah.
30 million.
It's crazy. I couldn't fathom. It's weird because it's like, you know how you're like, you can see something for yourself? Like you can see yourself at like this level.
Yeah.
And then when you get there, it's like you be surprised, but it's almost like you be like, but I see myself here.
Doing this, yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird place to be.
Is that where when you think of that, do you think of it as like, I always knew I would be a star, or that you wanted to be one? In what way do you think that applies for you?
I think I always knew I was going to be successful.
I heard that.
And like make good money and kind of live my life freely. Like I used to tell my mom when I was little, like, I'm not working for anybody. And she couldn't fathom that. And she's like, what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just not working for anybody. And I'm going to wear what I want to wear.
Hey, boundaries, okay?
I don't got it figured out. I'm dead. So to kind of like see where in my mind I could see it going, and then for it to come, sometimes I have to tell myself to be thankful for stuff because it can come off like I'm not grateful.
But you also expected it.
But I expected it. So it's weird because it's like somebody, like we bought our second property and they was like, oh, are you excited? You got your second property in less than 6 months. And I was like,
I was one of those people that asked you
that.
Yeah,
and I was like, and it was like, I kind of felt indifferent about it because like I told myself I'm going to buy 5 properties so all my kids can have a house.
Yeah.
Like just as an investment property.
For sure.
So it was like, for me to get 2, it's like, well, baby, I got 3 more to go. Like I'm not
even done yet.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I'm super grateful, but it's weird. It's like, it's a weird space. It's probably because we live in a simulated world, but
that's a whole nother.
Emotions just don't feel the same.
They don't. And also when you have access to, when you see numbers like 30 million people are looking at you, it's like it don't even exist at one point, because it's like, that's not real.
Yeah.
Like, because it also don't change your life every day. You still got to go through the same hardships. You go through the same shit.
My kids still ain't listening, so it's like
it better be 30 million views for the life that I'm going through. So it almost feels like it balances out. I remember you came over that day for me, and I was like, oh, where are you coming from? He's like, yeah, we just signed for this house. I was like, as in you just bought a house?
Yeah, I was like,
and then you just, sorry, I was like 10 minutes because I was buying another property and just to do content.
Yeah.
You bought a house just to do content. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is when I look back at where I started,
and that's what I want to know next. Where did you start? When did
I started, baby, in the
give it to us. Come on.
So
give us the year. Paint the picture for us.
Look, I gotta think back. 1992. No, I was born then.
Yeah, that was a good year.
So I had been married, which a lot of people don't know. I was married once upon a time in my life, and him and I had got a divorce. And he basically was like, yeah, even though he was the reason we got the divorce.
Right.
It was like, well, since you're leaving me, then you need to figure this out.
Since you're holding me accountable for fucking up the marriage.
For my actions. You're going to go in timeout, sis. So when I had left, I wasn't working because I was a stay-at-home mom.
Mm.
I had 3 kids who were, my oldest was like 4. My youngest was like 9-10 months or something. And I remember asking him, because we were staying in Midtown. So I said, well, if I move, do you think you can help with some rent? Because I don't want to be in the hood with your kids as a woman. Like,
Yeah.
that's a real thing. I don't want to be
I don't want to be in the hood with your kids.
with your kids, like, safety issues. People be shooting bullets, don't have a name.
For real.
And he was like, no. And I was like, okay. Because I'm one of those people, like, you tell me no, or you think you're going to see me do something bad, I'm going to show you that it ain't going to be like that. So I hurried up and left and got a job teaching. Shout out to my 7th grade students who I know y'all out there. Look at Miss Tiffany on the TV. So I left and I started teaching because that was the quickest thing I can get. I had 2 degrees, but I had never worked. So I had my master's, but never had no work experience.
I was the cheerleading captain.
You know what I'm saying?
And I used to do the chore board at home. Okay.
So I went there and I took my teacher's test. I passed. I was like, thank God. And I started teaching. And I had to move out and I moved into the hood with the kids. Shout out. Boulder Crest. East West Zone 6. So I moved in the hood. It was a lot of adventures over there. And we were in a 1-bedroom apartment. It was the 3 of us and we kind of just thugged it out. And
now,
then,
was it a studio or was it at least a 1
no,
bedroom?
It
Like
was
there was
1 bedroom, but it was very questionable. Somebody died behind our apartment, got shot. The car drove over the thing, hit the pole in the back in the playground. Yeah, it was crazy over there.
A bullet came in your house?
No, they shot the person in the car and they drove through our backyard. But I stayed literally by that Gucci Man Texaco on Boulder Crest.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I was a little nervous because for a second I thought you about to say I was living 10 minutes from here and I was about to get like, hold on, don't be telling people that we won't be able to come back here. But okay.
Boulder Crest, that infamous Texaco that Gucci was always hanging out at, always had a little rough
I'm from St. Louis.
I was right there. So it was a kid that got killed on the corner. It was all types of stuff going on over there. So we moved over there and I was like, baby, this is what we're going to do. We're going to just figure this out. So while I was over there for a while, barely been able to afford my $900 rent.
It's all right. We've all been there. I live in a van part-time. No judgment. No judgment.
Hey,
no judgment here. We're here where we are.
Then I was working. I ended up quitting the teaching job, got a job in corporate, finessed my way into corporate. Shout
with
out
your
to the
cheerleading
finesse.
resume.
I told him I had been working years on something I've never even seen in my life. So I got in there. I got me a better salary, up my salary. And then I met somebody, they had DM'd me, asked me that I want to do YouTube. Thought he was a creep. Shout out to El Haj TV. That's my man.
But he wasn't, right?
But he wasn't.
We got to say that. But he
wasn't. Because he said he did YouTube, but I wasn't sure. I'm like, these people in Atlanta be lying. So he invited me out.
Why did he reach out to you?
He had seen me on social media. I think he just was looking for...
Oh, you were just pretty?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Probably. He always has... El Haj, you always have pretty girls.
I'm saying I would reach out because I'm like, okay, she a pretty girl. We need like a,
Yeah, I never did. I didn't know this man from Can of Paint. I don't even know
so you
how
weren't
he
like
found
acting or anything.
No.
That's what I was saying. Like, why was he reaching out?
I
Okay,
don't know. That's why I thought he was a creep.
Oh,
I'm like,
fair.
why
Okay, why are you DMing?
What?
2 and 2 wasn't making 4. I'm sorry. What?
So I came on set, and then that's where I met him and my girl Kanigra. Shout out to her. She has a really big YouTube channel doing family stuff also.
Right. How do white people say her name? Because that's real.
It's very questionable.
You gotta just call me Kia, man.
You know what I'm saying? Just call me K. That's it. Because I don't want you to get a little funny in the back. So,
when you said Negra, I was like, I could say that. You don't say
you
that.
Can't say that.
You don't say her name.
So I started filming with them, and then he took me under his wing and showed me how to do YouTube, showed me how to do editing videos. She took me under her wing. And then I had a team down here that I worked with. And we became a crew. It was like ATL Verse for a little while. That's what we called ourselves. It was like 5 of us.
Okay.
And then it just kind of took off from there. I started off doing adult comedy stuff, like relationships, stuff like that. And then midway through, it kind of started like plateauing. I hit 100K in the first year. And then after that, they want to see you on OnlyFans.
Say it's the progression of your career. All right, we thought you were funny. Now take off them pants.
Basically, because when you do adult comedy, it's very, I don't want to say sexualized, but it can be. Like, it can't emphasize, like, let's get you, I slept with my homegirl's boyfriend. It's like, you can
get put in those roles real fast.
Yes.
You know who else said that? Brie Renee from from the age. She's on Revolt, and she was talking about when she they did a movie called Scheme Queens they came out with, and she was just saying she took the role very seriously because she didn't want to keep getting casted for like like stripper roles, and you know what I'm saying. Like she has a nice body, she has height on her, like you like. So she was just like she just didn't want to always be casted there. But even like remember Megan? What was Megan Good? She used to be typecast always. That girl, you know what I mean? So
it very much happens. And then the men start requesting you to see you on OnlyFans, or like it's almost like the next thing for you to do is get more sexual.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do that, so I talked to my homegirl Kanigra, and she had already switched over to family content, and she was like, "Oh no, baby, you need to go to family content." Like, no. So I was like, okay. And then I decided to do a rebrand. And I was nervous because already 100,000 people already solid knew what we was doing.
So question before, because I know some of your story, and I just want to make sure like people are clear. Give me a year that you started with the YouTube, that you were living in an apartment, you started with the YouTube.
Okay, so I started with YouTube in 2019 when I dropped my first video.
It is 2023 right now.
Yes.
I just want y'all to be very aware of the math.
When we went to do the rebrand, we did the rebrand in 2023. We did the rebrand in the summer of 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So we've only been doing family content for 2 years.
It's almost the end of that COVID period.
Yep.
That's and 2019 was right before COVID. Like, because 2019, the end of that year, December, was when it was starting, like, you know, starting to pass around. And then that March of 2020 was when they started shutting things down. So you were living in the hood in 2019 in a 1-bedroom apartment with 3 children and yourself, and you were creating content because a stranger was like, you should be in this video.
Yes.
In the first year you create, I just want to be clear about that.
My stranger man said you should do this.
So then you did your own stuff, and it got to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yes,
so
in
it was
that first
monetized.
year with El Haj.
Okay. And it was doing like pretty good, or like, okay. So they got you out the hood?
Yes. So I had, well, no, hold on. I stayed over there for a little longer. I was like, baby, I'm in now.
God said not yet.
God said not yet. So I did end up quitting my job. Once I made my paycheck that I made in my job on my salary, I was like, I'm quitting.
Say less.
So I quit. And I was like, all right, God, this is it. Can't go down from here. So that's when I started working with the ATL Verse crew. Okay. And we did a year. And then that's when we broke up. And I was like, all right, gotta do something else. And then that's when I did my rebrand and decided to pull the kids in.
Okay. And what did that look like? Like, short version, how long, what was the first, how long did it take for that first video to like hit and you was like, all right, we doing this. We're good.
Babe, we sat in the oven for probably like 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah, it was a long time because I was used to getting views. I had already had a video that had hit 1 million by the time I had did my rebrand.
Okay.
So it was like, I mean, when our views were like 10K, like 15K, there was like 7K. I was like, babe, we ain't coming out. It was going on for a while. The money had dropped. I was like, I don't see this happening for me. I think I made a bad decision.
Maybe I should take off those drawers.
Maybe OnlyFans is calling my name. I don't know, but it feels very much like it is.
I told my mama I was not worried about nobody else. And I want to wear what I want. And I choose to wear nothing because the checks have stopped.
Because the checks have stopped. And my writer kept saying, it's okay. This is normal. And I kept going, I don't think it is. And then we had something pop, and then we came out the oven. And what's crazy is, like, probably when I did my rebrand, I was probably sitting at like 150, and we're sitting at like 640 almost right now. We'll probably hit 1 million by the end of this year.
I heard that by the time this episode comes.
By the time this episode drop, y'all, we're gonna be at
Boom. So, what I really love, and every time I talk to you, is that you have not stopped being the mother. You have not stopped getting to this bag and all of that. And of course you have to, but what does it look like now that your family is good? You're on your second home. You're almost to it. What does that look like for you, mom, or not even mom, as Tiffany? Like how much do you have off time? Like, do you have time to masturbate? Like, what is your...
Where?
There's 7 boys in the house. Like, I have questions.
I think that these past 2 years, that especially when I did this rebrand and it was just on my back, because before I would collab with other creators and it was not easier, but when you collab and people got followings, you kind of like join in. But when you build something from the ground up, it's different.
It's on you.
It's different. Yeah. I think that I've been in my bag so much and make sure everybody else is so straight. I don't think I've really sat down and like thought about me.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm scared. Like I live in a little bit of fear daily because it's almost like a while ago, Gabrielle Union had something on Instagram when she was talking to somebody, what she was saying, she goes half on her bills with Dwayne. And she said she feels like it's trauma because of her fear of going back to what it used to be when she was struggling.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a real thing. Like when she said that, I was like, damn.
No, really.
That's how I feel, because I feel like now that I have this load of income and, the accessibility to buy things and houses and all this other stuff, even though the money's coming in good, it's always that, well, what if something goes left and you lose everything again? Because I think the difference is when you go into entrepreneurship and you've been poor before,
like legit poor.
You have a fear of like, I can't believe I'm touching this money, but what if this money left? So I think that people work in a constant state of almost like fear when they turn it into like hustle culture.
Yeah.
But I think it's really like, it's fear culture. It's like fear of going back to where I was, fear of losing stuff, fear of lacking, fear of if I don't do this today, it's going to throw everything off I've built and now it's going to just go down.
It's not really yours. Like it's just a moment.
Yes.
What's so crazy is I actually went through that fear. So I'm like you. So
Baby, I'm scared.
With my story, I just didn't have the option to go back home or get money or things like that. And so ever since I've left, it's just always been on me. When I left my marriage, when he left me, I said, don't be stunting. Don't be stunting for the cameras. When he left, at that time, I was doing okay because I had started Sexual Essentials and it hadn't like really popped yet. And then I was also still doing property management. And when I decided to do Sexual Essentials, we had made the decision then to get a rental property for my son because I was like, okay, we talking about me sucking dick on the internet. Like, it's getting a little risky. I don't know. Like I had told my job, I was like, hey, I have this business and I educate people and, and it has a sexual base and now
meanwhile, I'm all lost.
So I was like, it could get risky. They could turn on you, you never know. And so it was doing great, but then it popped and I quit my job. When I quit my job, I was in fear and I had to, like, my friends were like, Smile, you could have been quit your job. My accountant was like, you could have been quit your job. And of course, then it finally started setting in and I was good. Like the first month that I even quit my job, the summer that I quit my job, I made more than what I made in my yearly salary, just that first summer. But COVID had started. So, online content was jumping.
Going crazy.
Right? Going crazy. And it was also quick, like it was good content, right? So then last year, I lost my Instagram page. And I have so many reoccurring customers and things like that. If I put it out, they were wanting the next thing and everything, but everything just went downhill. And so I started my podcast just really saying, I want something that can't be taken away from me. Started my podcast, opened up the content house. Here we are today, and I own a production company. Not like well, thank you. Me and the van, thank you. Because what happened, your biggest fear did happen to me. And I had to and I'm still doing it right now, like literally in real time, refocusing my thoughts to say, I didn't lose anything. I transitioned, my assets transitioned. So the money that was there, we spent it all on this, on the entire house, getting everything, the equipment, all that stuff. But in the midst of that, there are things that have left my life that are no longer, including a house, a house for me and my son, which really put me through this thing was like, I failed. Like I don't have, like, it is check to check, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, and I had to check myself and I was like, what are you scared of? Before, you didn't have no money. It's just because you hadn't got to it yet. Now, technically your assets have changed. It's not like dollars, but you do have real estate. You have, you know what I'm saying? You have more than one rental property. You ain't broke, baby.
You just ain't got it.
You just ain't got it. It's just a no. I have food at home. And
we're not going to McDonald's today.
Oh, McDonald's. Girl, my stomach just turned. Oh. And so I did. But I think I had to touch the money so I could know what's even possible to say that you can't be living like this no more.
Yeah,
now
I
we know
agree
it's
with that.
possible. This was on accident, right? And now I'm on this path to be a multimillionaire on purpose. And that's way harder than doing that shit on accident. You know what I'm saying? And so I went through that fear, but I guess my question is, how are you going to pull yourself out of it? Like, what is the... Yeah, you looked at me like, girl, why you asking me this question? How are you going to pull yourself out of it where you can come back to being present so you can enjoy what's going on right now, no matter what, whether it leaves or not? What are you going... Like, I guess... Are you okay? Questions like, are you okay? Or like, have you even looked up to realize like, you can't keep living like that, I guess?
I have looked up because I feel like my stress level had got so high.
Yeah.
It was like impacting me. Like I was just like, it's a lot. Like it was a lot. It was a lot of the business stuff and then a lot of outside people just coming in and doing stuff they had no business doing. And I just had to be like, you know what? Like I can't control what I can't like control. And I kind of had to tell myself that like I can't control what I can't control.
Yeah.
So now it's like I just don't get wrapped up on the small stuff because I'd be like, if that plummeted this month or we had a month, I understand now it's ups and downs. I understand that now, like, I think I can't say I've been through the worst because God, I do not want you to test me to see if I thought that was my worst or not. But like I've had months where I only made payroll.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had to pay everybody else. And then I had to be like,
yeah, we got to try it again next month.
I guess we're going to try it next month. I don't know. We're not going to do anything this month. We're going to eat these noodles and we're going to call it a day. So it's kind of like,
some peanuts,
you know what I'm saying?
Peanuts and ham hocks. Y'all made some boiled peanuts, and I put some turkey neck in them. And Tiffany walked in here and was like, "Are you making boiled green, peanut green? Okay, you want some of these peanuts with ham hocks in them?"
Never heard of that before, but it's
all right. We're gonna leave. We're gonna save it a cup. We're gonna be coming back,
and I'm gonna let you know. I'll probably be like, "Oh, these was fine." But yeah, I just now try to like more so be at ease and be at peace. And I'm really trying to this year get more focused. Focused
That's
and
not the stress.
organized.
That's the tequila.
It's focused. I'm trying to get more focused and organized because I'm understanding now as I continue to scale up, organization is a big factor in this. I'm like, baby, this is out of control right now. Organizing yourself so you can continue to scale and hiring out. This year I'm hiring out. I'm like, baby,
I heard that. Get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody. I don't give a damn. We got the money. I get somebody else to do it. Okay, my peace is more important. We'll figure that out on the back end.
I love that for you. How do you check in with your kids? Because now it's 5 of them and co-parenting and mixed households and all this stuff, right? The real life stuff. If you're going through what you're going through, how do you? And then also, we have this thought about child stars, right? Because you got
they don't end up well. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not so Raven. What is his name?
I know exactly. He's the first one that came to my mind when you said that.
Really? Okay. What was his name? Was Eddie on the show or something? But remember he came out with
the
his
one
stuff.
who's always on the rants lately.
Yes. I don't want to call him a crackhead because I don't know. That ain't my story to tell. What's his name? Eddie Thomas.
Is his name?
That's his real name in real life? Orlando Brown. Yes. I was like, Eddie Thomas. Yes, on the show. She was like, I watched the show. His name was Eddie Thomas. Not the last name from the show. I just knew Raven Baxter.
Are you an aspiring podcaster or an existing podcaster trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing after you hit record? My name is Anna Agogo, and I'm the founder of Black Pod Festival, which is a 2-day interactive conference taking place here in Atlanta, Georgia on September 30th and October 1st. There's interactive sessions with Spotify, iHeart, and we had people get sponsorship deals, network deals with Black Effect, and so many more. Go ahead and head to blackpodfestival.com to get your tickets today.
Well, him, like stuff like that. So have you ever, like, is that a real thing? Like, or is it like, girl, it ain't even like that? Like, people think that all the time, or like,
no, that's a real, I'd be worried. I'd be like, I'd be shaking it with the kids because I do not want the kids
don't be acting weird, man. You good?
Cocaine at 10, talking about we just having a rough life. No, baby, you're good. Okay. I have to, I do check in with them all the time. We do, before school, I try to do walks with them in the morning and we talk about like things we're grateful for. And don't repeat
So
what you said
nice.
yesterday, because that's stupid. Find something else.
You said that one already.
You said that yesterday. You're not going to say that all week.
I'm
this
grateful
week.
for boiled peanuts and turkey necks. Today. That's my today.
So I try to have them reflect on like what they're grateful about.
Yeah.
And then during that time, if like one of them might be feeling a little more down than the rest, I will because they're boys, so they just kind of run wild. So I let them kind of run ahead and kind of keep the other one back with me because I have the stroller. And then we kind of have like a one-on-one little conversation. We always give them the opportunity to come talk to us by themselves about anything. We always tell them, like, you're not getting in trouble, talk to us. Like, you just pull us aside, say, hey, you need to talk. Or, your thing might be you need some hugs. Do you need a couple extra hugs today?
I heard that.
And they'd be like, yeah. And then I could tell like they're a little off. I also have them in therapy because I think it's really important, especially with us having, how do I want to say this? Especially with us having them go between places. I want to make sure that they're in a good space because what may happen at my house may not happen over there. And some of the same quality time may not occur and other things that can affect them.
The co-parenting situation.
Yes, it can be sticky. So I do try to have them go to therapy so they have a safe space because sometimes they don't want to talk to mom and pops. They want to talk to somebody where they feel like I can say this and it's not going to be judgy, or I can say this and nobody's going to feel a certain way because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings or whatever. Yeah. And I do ask them often, my partner and I will ask them often, what can we do better as a parent? Like, what do you think mommy could do better that would make you feel happier? What do you think pops could do better that would make you feel happier? Yeah. And we ask that because sometimes we think we're doing good and these kids be like, baby, you ain't doing enough.
You could do better.
You could do.
And they be honest.
You could watch another movie with me.
Look here. We had to play Trouble last night very, very late because he was like, you did not play the game with me today. And,
like,
I was like, you know what?
Let's go.
You ain't even lied. Come on. Let's set the timer. Let's play
I ain't gonna do you like that. Come on.
What was I about to say? So there was this video on Instagram or whatever, and it was talking about the CIA or some shit. Yeah. Somebody said something. And they were saying that the right amount of trauma, they was like enough trauma to make you have to like work harder than someone else or work through something or go through something like substantial, but not so much trauma that you turn to crack. They was like, that middle is what breeds success. And I was like,
it might be some truth to that.
I feel like you're talking to me right now. I did have a run-in with alcohol, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I mean, clearly I put myself out of it. I ain't like, let's try the heroin. Yeah. Like, it's like, we didn't do that. What's next? Like, I never tried like nothing harder because I was like, that shit famous for a reason. Yeah. And I know it's gonna be good. I know Coke slap. I know it does. Therefore, it's a no for me. I know it slap. I got an addictive personality. God. And then, I stopped drinking. So I was like, okay, clearly I fall within this. I ain't turning to Coke. So do you feel like that's true? Because technically, I mean, you lived in it. What you said, you lived in the hood in this one bedroom. And I mean, they also have to, one day the math is going to math and they're going to realize like my dad really made my mama live in the hood with 3 kids. Like once, you know what I'm saying? Once they understand the facts, you know what I'm saying, of why like you're protecting them in that way. Do you feel like that pressure makes diamonds, or do you think that without that, the entire situation that you would have still been diamond it up, or do you just think you would have found another way to get there? Because, you said at 10 that you ain't waiting for nobody, you gonna wear what you want.
I'm gonna do what I do. I definitely think pressure makes diamonds because if I really look back over my life, I had some childhood traumas.
She said it was some other shit too,
man, it was a traumatic life. My next one, I want to be a simple cat woman. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to work. Just put me in a house somewhere with a glass of wine. But yeah, I had some childhood traumas, and I think that because of my childhood traumas, I became very like independent because I was almost scared to like depend on anything because I had people taken away from me and I had things happen that was out of my control. And I think as a kid, you can't understand all that. So then it kind of feels like I don't want to get attached to nothing too much because if I do, it could be taken away and then I have to like relive this moment. Yeah. So I think that because of that, and then me just kind of having that like I got to depend on me mindset from a young age, I think it did help me. And then dealing with the trauma that happened in my marriage kind of reiterated that feeling for me.
Yeah.
So I think that when I got out and I hit the ground running, I just was like, I know what I got to do. And I don't have time to sit at home and cry about it. Like I really think back throughout my life, I never had time to really sit back and be like,
really ain't no time for tears.
It ain't no time for tears, baby, because it's like, what's next? Like you almost always in survival mode. And I think that kind of can equate to like now you have a hustle mode.
Yeah.
But that's when it gets scary of like that fear coming about. Because if you're always used to being in survival mode, that turns into hustle mode. But now you're in hustle mode with that same trauma. Now it turns into I'm scared of losing things because if I don't do it, who else gonna do it?
And then
because
your
I've
kids
always
pick
done
up
it.
on it too. Like that's an anxiety that breed, like that you end up passing down because at the end of the day you think you acting normal, but to them they're like, no, my mama always did this because she was out. Like they see you, in a different light. All right, the deep shit was really great, but I also do have some other questions.
Okay.
Before we move on.
Hit me.
So what's happening in the bedroom with 5 children? Like, what did that look like? Like postpartum? Like, what is the self sex routine? Is there a self sex routine?
I don't really have a self sex routine, sis. I'm gonna have to book a class.
Okay? I have no problems with that. So, are you not doing it at all?
I'm not doing any self pleasuring at all. No, look at somebody's face.
Like, what about when you have like a rough day, or like, how do you get started? That's how you go to sleep. Talk about meditation music. I got a meditation for your ass. All right.
You know what?
That little meditation. Don't look down. Look at me.
Let me think about this. Let me pray on this.
Have you ever done it?
Yes, I have done it.
With your fingers?
But
acoustic
you know what's
or
crazy
electric?
is I think that me just being genuine and honest, I feel like
You was lying the rest of the episode? Or?
a little bit, but got those little razzle dazzle there. I think that my mom is not like a super girly woman. She's not really tomboy either, but she's just like like how the older women are. They just be like, they don't really give you too much of nothing. They kind of just be a parent. And
that's a good man, Savannah.
You know that part. Might beat
you a man.
It's okay. They all beat us once. I think in my head as an adult and having gone through therapy and stuff like that, just reflecting, I don't think I ever had good, what is it like? I don't want to say love for my body, but almost like it almost felt wrong to touch yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing, even though it's my body.
My body. This is my
It's
coochie.
almost like I shouldn't be doing it. And I think subconsciously that has continued to roll with me. So I think I almost don't think of doing it. And sometimes when I do it, I feel guilty that I did it.
Do you think that so that was before you were even with a male partner at all?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But okay, so at first, before male partner,
you wasn't even rubbing that thing by your skin.
No, okay, let me go back. So before male partner, I think that there was times, when you younger, you're like, oh, that's interesting. You kind of,
You talking about girls? Or you talking
no,
about,
I'm saying like you touch yourself.
I would
or
totally to the left. I was like, yeah, I
a
know.
little water hit something. You'd be like, oh, okay,
Okay,
boom.
a little razzle.
And I think I was okay then, but I think maybe, I don't know if it's when I started getting with men or what. I don't know when it shifted. But then it kind of became like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this with myself.
But you didn't have a problem with like sexuality with a partner?
No, I think I did. I think I was like really shy at first.
Okay,
it took
all
me
the
to
sex
get
stuff.
older for me to be more confident in like what I was doing. Cause I kind of gave myself, after my divorce, I was in that marriage and we go from these situations in childhood. I met him when I was young. So I really hate that I met him at like that age where it's like.
You're so impressionable.
Yes. I was like 19.
Ooh.
So he took all my 20s.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of your time to explore yourself and figure out what you like. So after I had divorced, I told myself, like, I'm not going to feel guilty for things I want to do with people.
Right.
Because I almost felt guilty. Like, if I like somebody and I was like, dang, I just met them and I kind of want to, like, I
allow
had like a
yourself to have
guilt on me.
urges or like really embracing a
Yes.
sexual desire.
And it was like, why would it be a problem for me to have a one night stand? It's not a problem for a man to have a one night stand. Like, why should I feel guilty about my choice with my body that I want to do today?
Yeah.
And I should feel guilty about it. But then I also feel like some of that came from he was really in the church, and it almost like he almost wanted to.
First of all, fuck him. Because
take that.
the church
down.
let me live in the hood.
I mean, you know how they do. They pick and choose sometimes. So some of that, I think that guilt came from like he always kind of wanted me to dress a certain way and look a certain way and do things a certain way and like talk a certain way. It's almost like he wanted to build me into like his little Barbie and like carry me around. So it's kind of like, I feel like some of that came from also like, am I second guessing myself on who you put on me in my 20s to be?
Who am I outside
who
this
you told me to
relationship?
be? Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I did have a, some time after my divorce where I enjoyed myself. Like I did things. I had a hot girl summer.
I did things.
Shout out to my brother because he was like, baby, you only live one life and you got to do whatever makes you happy. And I was
brother
like,
for the encouragement.
are you sure?
Yes, I'm going to be a whore.
I'm going to drop my location.
I'm going to go be a whore safely.
Thank you.
Are you going? I mean, okay. So we got to do. Where my time at, Steph? I need to know because this is probably a good time for us to go ahead to the sex tip of the day. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead to the sex tip of the day. Well, we definitely have to have you back because your story is just like it has so many layers, and I'm always interested when I find like I'm not gonna say another woman, but a woman, and she's done everything that she needs to do, and then you find yourself. And as a mother, I know a lot of mothers understand that. But even as women, we go from home where we're not allowed to do anything, where we're supposed to be like untouched or whatever. And then if you get into a relationship and you don't have any other experience of love, you get into this relationship, like you said, at an impressionable age. And then most of those relationships are ending.
Are not healthy.
Or they're not healthy.
Yeah.
Because we shouldn't be getting married at that age necessarily. Most of the times not. I'm not saying that you can't, but it's not everybody, you guys. That's not normal. We haven't lived life yet. And then we go through our 20s and then now we like 30 and we like, okay, so what's up?
I don't even know what
is what, you know? But I know how to survive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not enough anymore. So I'm always really intrigued when you find women and it's like, they get the guts to, I like the freedom of this new world. I know it's like a simulation, but it's just like you said, that age group before us, they weren't doing these things. And so just watching how women are like moving so fast now, now that like things are even, I'm not saying we go through the same things as men, but now that we can do the same things as men, it's beautiful I know it got a lot of mistakes and a lot of bumps and all that shit, but it is a beauty to it, just watching women like find themselves. So we definitely got to bring you back to talk about more of that stuff. But before we go, we got to do the sex tip of the day.
Okay.
Let's get into it. The sex tip of the day is because my first company was sexual, or is, just, I don't know why I'm talking about that.
Yeah, act like it died.
Sexual, it did not. I don't know. I got to work on it. Sexual Essentials is my first company. And I was helping people and still helping people create the intimate life that they desire. And so all I required was them to tell the truth. And today's sex tip of the day is to shed light on some of those things. And so I have like a Patreon and master classes where I teach people all types of stuff. There's all types of conversations. There's hands-on demonstrations. It's a little rubbing, a little tugging. It's a lot of things on there. So today's sex tip of the day is the Masturbation and Squirting 101 Masterclass. I'm going to give it to you. Yes, it's the Masturbation and Squirting 101 class. So before you leave today, I'm going to give you that class. You can do it from home. You don't necessarily have to do it with me, and I'm going to check in with you. I want you to do it. But I love this class because one, it's really great for, first of all, if you've never had an orgasm, or you're not really sure in that realm of like, have I done it? Am I doing it right? I'm not, like, if you just at that point when you still have questions about like masturbation, just like as a start, first of all, this is a really great starter class because not only am I going to teach you about it, then I'm going to catch you up to speed, like where you should be at now. But it's a really great class also for postpartum, because after having a child, you probably already know your hormones change. Like, depending on the kid, you could either your sex drive could go crazy up, right? Or it can go crazy down, right? And then the stress of just life, and then just also busyness. And you could be as horny as you want, but if there ain't no time or there ain't no privacy or whatever, it's really difficult. And so your sex drive ends up going down. As women, we are multi-orgasmic, and you lose different. It's just like if you don't use it, you lose it. You know, you don't lose your coochie. Oh my gosh,
you gonna die.
Yeah, if you don't use it, you lose it. So you should be getting multiple orgasms, but a lot of women don't have the bandwidth or like the stamina to last for multiple orgasms, or they don't even know how to get it. Or they're like, what do you mean multiple? Like, do you mean like just keep going and then don't ever stop until it just keeps happening again? Or do you think, and then now they hurting, they chafing and shit. And then you have people that's like, well, is it okay to use a toy? Or what types do I start with? Or they've tried a toy and they tried one cheap, badass, terrible toy, and then they're like, oh, I hate toys because I just need the real thing. Yeah, okay. Let me tell you when I'm done. Like, you know, and also just why not? Why not know what's going on with your body and how it works, so that way you could better tell your partner in the bedroom. And it even adds a component, because after masturbation with self, you can even do mutual masturbation. So it's like you could say, babe, I really, pour them a little glass and have them sit there and just, I want you to watch me dim the light, because you be making ugly faces and stuff, so you don't like want them to like directly be looking at you. It's so hard to like nut in front of somebody, because you be looking like, you be like, oh, hold on, what was the adult tip of the day? How do I help? She having a seizure, and so it's awkward. And so it's just like, set the mood. Set the mood, open your little legs up, you're a little sexy, put on your workout lingerie or whatever. And, let him watch. Or you could just do it together, or, whatever. It adds a new level of things for you to explore in your partnership. But also then the squirting 101 comes, because a lot of people are like, okay, how do you squirt? And I was like, okay, I'm going to kill two birds with one stone, and my ass put it in the same class. So, because I could get them to watch a squirting video, but getting them to learn how to masturbate be hard. They'll skip ahead and be like, I just want to learn how to squirt. No, I got your ass. Put it in the same.
It's levels to this. Yes. Start here, go here.
Yes, it is levels. So they are in the same class. But I'm going to give you that. You have to watch the class. I gave you a toy last time you was here.
You did give me a toy. I have not opened the toy. The toy is
Why did I know that you didn't open it?
It's on my shelf. It's right there where I know to go get her, though. I'm sorry.
You hurt me so. Like,
you know what? I seen her the other day. I said, dang.
Not you seeing it, like looking at you.
You looking at me, looking at you. Okay,
it's like that. Toy Story. Like, it's literally like Toy Story. They look at her just walk past us. That's how Woody felt on the shelf when Andy was growing up. That's how Andy felt that's how Woody felt when Andy was growing up. It's literally Toy Story. But you guys, that is the sex tip of the day. Make sure you click the link below. If you use code NJASP, not just another sex podcast, you can get 50% off that class as well. But Tiffany gonna take this class and use it. You gonna rub your coochie.
I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna let y'all know how that works.
You gonna rub the coochie.
Just, I'm gonna send y'all a DM or something.
Look here, girl. Okay, I did it. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. But that is the sex tip of the day. And before we get out of here, we're gonna do the spiritual tip of the day, which is where this segment is for kind of like the adult tip, but in a spiritual aspect, where everybody's always talking about like your higher self and like healing and like, we was talking about the retrograde earlier and Mercury and microbraid, and they don't know what these things mean. And because we have a level of ignorance to it, or either we're getting misinformation because it's coming from Twitter and they only talking about one part, and so it don't apply, or because so many people like use it as an excuse. Oh, I was a thief, girl. I'm a Gemini. My bad. Like shit like that. Like, people have no trust for some of these things. They don't understand what it means. And so we just thought, like, let's just give one little spiritual thing a day and explain how it works or whatever. So that way, hopefully people could be more receptive. So that way they can incorporate some of these things, like not in place of religion, but with religion, with, prayer, with all these things. Like, so spirituality covers all those things. So today's spiritual tip of the day is for full moons. The full moon was the other day, right?
Yeah.
It was that blue one. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. We burnt some stuff and shook our titties. It was great. So
where was I? God. I missed it. It's like from 2037.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, 65 probably at that time.
Shaking them things. Shaking them things. They gonna still shake. They trust me. They still gonna. They gonna probably shake better.
Shake to my shoulder.
In 2037, they're gonna shake really good. Don't worry about it. We're gonna call you for that one too.
Oh,
we're gonna start doing it on all the full moon. This is my first time doing something for the full moon. My producer, Witchy Bitch. So she was like, "Yeah, we gotta write things down. We gotta leave peace.
Naked
And
and
it was like, burn sage.
Okay. I guess.
Okay. See, that's why people don't like witches. They're like, what the hell?
What are we doing? Are we sacrificing what?
Sacrifice a small peanut in a turkey neck. Sacrifice a turkey neck.
Wrapped in a turkey neck.
Okay, for real. The full moon is about completion.
Okay.
And so we're thinking of it as being full of stuff. You know, like when the full moon comes around, it's full of stuff. And so this is where you're supposed to release. Because when things fill up, you're supposed to let them go. So like, I don't know, like your bladder. I probably could have used it like a more sanitary example. It's not going good. Please stop with me. The spiritual
It's going
to help
amazing,
y'all.
you guys. We are pushing through today.
Probably could use something a little more sanitary, but when you gotta pee, you gotta let it out. So I guess, you know, the moon gets full. And so when the moon is full, you're supposed to release stuff. And so I wrote like some stuff on this piece of paper, and then we burnt it a couple times. The ground was wet, so we had to burn it like twice. And then I like, you know, danced around because they talk about like the energy that's stored in your body.
Was
like,
your titties out?
No, I didn't. I just didn't have no bra on, so it felt free.
Oh, okay.
So they was definitely slanging. I definitely a mama. They was definitely slanging. So, you know, I just was moving around, like letting go of the energy and looking at the moon. I don't know if it did anything, but I definitely felt better.
You felt good.
I did.
That's all that matters.
I did, right. I believed it, so it was real. But it's about cleansing, releasing, and removing what no longer works for you. This is the best time to write down your deepest inner thoughts and then release all that spent energy by watching it burn up. And then in parentheses, she put safely, of course, because, you know, you got to tell people, if you want to, though, I don't know. Just in case like some shit go wrong, burn up some shit, and they be like, all right, not just the sex
I
podcast.
burned my house down. It's like, no, nobody told you to do that in the house.
Nobody told you to do that in the house. So safely. But that's what full moons are for. And I didn't know that.
You know what? I will say that I kind of knew that because...
What do you kind of know that mean?
Okay, so
I halfway knew that.
I'm not going to disclose no names. I'm just keep this like an anonymous Instagram post.
Okay,
but this guy was dating this girl who
you be having a tea, boy.
Played around in magic, but it was true that she played around magic. I don't want to specify cultures and stuff. There's some cultures play around in magic a little more than other cultures. I'm going to just say that.
They do be casting spells.
And she was in one of them cultures. So she had played around with some magic, and somebody had let us know because we were kind of feeling like some stuff was off, and she had like this altar at her house, and like it was just weird stuff going on. And the guy who was also in the same culture was like, oh no, like she's playing in that black magic because my mom does that and I'm familiar with the stuff. So the guy had a tattoo on him of her mom that had passed, and he was like, you need to get that removed ASAP because that's how they call back to their ancestors, and you have an ancestor on you, so the stuff that's happening to you is because she's calling to that ancestor, and that ancestor's on your body. So she's moving
almost
the
like
energy
a portal of
through
energy.
you. Yes. So
that sounds way past what we was talking about. Yeah, I was just talking about burning a little piece of paper
so we had to talk
and
to
just shimmying your titties around a little bit. Like no judgment, but I was just a little
so
shimmy.
that person had to talk to a spiritualist and or I guess a witch doctor. I don't know what we would call it.
Yeah, this is not what we talk about on spiritual.
But
what she got going on, that
they had to take baths to cleanse themselves of the stuff on every full moon. It was like a concoction that the witch doctor gave them to bathe in to release that spirit off of them every full moon. They only could do it on the full moons.
Turkey neck juice and like
no, it was like
bubbles.
What's that stuff called? Florida water.
Oh yeah,
Florida water, and it was like salt. It was like a spell. And then they was like, you got to get in here and say these things. You got to burn these candles at a certain time and do this sage stuff at a certain time and certain particular candles. And it washes that
the wrong recipe.
demonic
make
spirit
coke
off
in your
of
house.
you.
Cooking crack. Fuck around and did the wrong percentages and shit.
I was
No
like,
bad.
this is interesting. I don't want no parts of this. I don't want no parts, baby.
No, I have heard of different spiritual battles. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, talking about a portal of this person and they crazy. That's different. Black magic is like a negative thing, but there are definitely positive ones because
there's positive ones.
Good Moms, Bad Choices. I went on one of their retreats. I taught at one of their retreats, and we did this like little manifestation box or whatever, and it's like a little spell thingy. And then like I know that like even when people like like pass away. Like your family can even like let you go out like smoother and things like that. I don't fuck with none because like I said, I don't want to fuck around and accidentally cook crack. But I would like to learn, like if you watching this and you know how to do stuff like that and you could be trusted, give me 3 references, we had you on the show. Like,
trust it, because we ain't trying to
trying
to bring nobody.
I gotta put them on Patreon first, make sure they legit.
You know what I'm saying? Because baby, some of them be trying to trick you.
Oh, I wonder if they could bring back my baby hairs, like bring back my edges. They put a little bath salt.
I'm not doing this shit.
I feel like somebody released my edges on the full moon. I feel like somebody put my edges on that paper and burnt it, bitch. Release all of these edges. I need to, what's the reason to bring them back?
Baby, you better start figuring out who do magic around you and try to figure out
like me.
Who was not messing with you at that time.
Playing around, it was my child. The first part of edges, gone. Just in a second. But yes, there's so many different things, and I'm not saying I'm the witchiest person in the world, but there are a lot of things that I have learned that have helped me. And so I just always like to share them because it like this has been a couple of years that I've like just been opening myself up to like what is astrology and what does this crystal do? It's not just a rock. Like
no, it's not a rock.
No, it's not a rock. It's a little pebble. And all these little things. And you know, you take what resonates and you leave what doesn't. If it don't apply to you, you don't believe it, whatever, then don't. But there are some things out there that will. So you don't have to like knock all the spiritual stuff just because you don't understand all of it. So y'all get the gist. But it was just so amazing talking to you. Feels like girl talk. I'm with that.
This.
I like it when work don't feel like work. I'm here for that. And because, you know, like the full moon, my bladder is full. So we're going to let you we going to get up out of here. Before we tell them where to find you, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you choose one of these links below and support something because I live in a van. And that... you know, help us out. So
it should be like Samaya and the Van Adventures.
It has a van page. It's the Charlie Van Cafe. Yeah, we be lit, but they don't be looking like, they be like, girl, you all right. Look at that nice van. So they don't be hurt. Right. They be judging. So make sure y'all click one of the links below and check out Patreon, the masterclass, use the code. And then please make sure that you follow our guests. Please tell them where they can find you enjoying your 30 million viewers. Girl, hit them with it. She got to be at 1 million followers by.
I got to be at a million subscribers before the end of the year
on YouTube. Yes, tell them where they can find you.
Y'all can find me on all social media platforms at Tiffany La'ryn. That's Laryn. Just put me in, baby. I'm gonna come up.
She said 30 million, baby.
I'm gonna come up.
She gonna be that first Google. Just make sure you put the last name in because you know Tiffany. You just yeah. Put that last name in. Put
and
that
don't
L in
Google
there.
Weird stuff about me because I can see it when I put my name in.
You can always see the most Google things about what they be asking about you.
My husband, my net worth.
Oh, they all in your business.
I'd be like, God, y'all said my address, my phone number, my email.
What hood she stayed in? 19.
What hood was she in 1992? Like, no. Yeah, it'd be some random stuff on there. Tiffany's only fan page. No, I'm joking.
That's so crazy, though. The only reason you even got into this field with the kids was because niggas was over-sexualizing you.
It was creepy.
Well, I mean, you're pretty, but I wouldn't ask you to, like, take off your clothes. That's wild. That's aggressive.
The stuff that people say on the internet, you'd be surprised.
I'm not. You know what I do on the internet. I'm not surprised at all. My block list is long as hell.
Send me a personal video.
And they always, I get so many emails saying that I want to start porn. And I'm like, bro, I've never, you know that they thought this content house was for porn content? I said, what?
Wow.
I've never made porn. It's not a joke, you guys. Like, it's not. If I did, I would definitely sell it. I wouldn't want $10 on my porn.
Maybe you should go on porn sets and be a creative director.
I did do intimacy coordinating for Kiki Palmer, and that was a good time. Like, yes.
That sounds interesting.
Yes, it was. I definitely want to get back on some more movie sets. That's a whole nother conversation. Because look here, the folks listen to me. I said, I like this. They asked me to do something, they just do it. I was with it. That's how I really got into this executive producer brand. So it's like, okay, let me find somebody else's brand. Who else want me to tell them what to do? And they like it.
I'm on to something.
You gotta use your talents. Otherwise, at home, you drive people away like that. Why? Go find somebody else to tell what to do. But thank you so much for joining us, just for being vulnerable, open, and I'm just really proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Fuck your ex-husband. And you know, we're gonna keep watching the kids, make sure they don't end up like Eddie Thomas. And you know, we're gonna get you into some self-care activities. We're gonna make sure you use your toy and get you to class. So thank you guys so much for joining this episode. Make sure you please rate and review. It means so much when you guys do. It does not go unnoticed. I read them. It pulls me out of these dark spells, y'all. You share your life with people. It's difficult. We do not know that we're doing great all the time. We don't know if you need it. So it takes like 2 seconds after you listen to an episode to just press 5 stars. I'm not telling you to press 5 stars, but if you think it's 5 stars, then give me 5 stars. And leave your review and make it heartfelt. It means so much. So thank you guys so much for joining in, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.